So, guys, thank you for joining us. The reason we're having a chit chat today is because, as I told you, we're mentoring a number of students, and one of the common recurring questions that keep coming up is my professors ask me to do a research on a certain topic. Sometimes they don't even give the topic. So, be it in last year of university or a master's thesis, how do they decide on a topic and what is the research methodology? And the reason I picked you is because I know you've done that yourself, and not only did an amazing job, you managed also to land a gig speaking at Blackhat and presenting your research as well, right? Which is an amazing feat for somebody who is still at university. So let's start first and foremost by introducing yourself a little bit. You've been a speaker with Hackers Academy before, but let's reintroduce you again and tell us particularly about that research. Where did you present it? And then we can sort of like pick your brains, so to speak, on what is your thought process. How do you approach this?
Thank you very much for the introduction. I'm Qais, and I work as a SIM engineer for Immersive Labs. I come from mainly from a security engineering background in the past 3-4 years, plus low-level security research. Starting with I've done my master's in the UK, and at that point, I really didn't know what to do, and I was like, to be honest, I felt like everybody is smarter than me, and I was like, I need to keep up to the level, and I need to try finding ways in how to do that. And then I started looking on what's the best way to do this. I mean, some people prefer reading books. Some people prefer watching YouTube videos and all that stuff. I'm a type of who likes reading books, so a bit old style, but yeah. I just started ordering books and trying to make friends with people who has experience and who can actually help me and be as my mentor along the way. Like a good amount of them were already my colleagues. So basically you need to try to be close from people who has knowledge like this. I felt like after a period of time I was up to the level, and then when it came to choosing the dissertation idea, I was confused again, and I don't know what to do. A lot of interesting topics here and there. I mean, and every student faces this. I think the best way here is to try to find what's your passion. You look at things, you make a list of the cybersecurity fields, and you start looking at them. What is the most field? What was the most interesting field for you? And actually, even if you don't know about it, anything, if you feel that you have a passion for it, I think you should go for it. And that's exactly what I have done. Is I've started doing. I choose an idea in low-level research, embedded devices, low-level research, and I had no idea about that. But it's just that I felt I have passion for that, and it felt that it's something different, not like network security or everybody's doing it and all that stuff. But that's fine. I mean, you can have passion for network security and choose it. That's still fine. I mean, it'll be much easier to choose a famous topic like network security, because you will find a lot of resources. So I would say follow your passion and follow what you feel that is suitable for you, and you feel that you will be happy doing it for a long period of time. Just think about it in a way that you'll be doing this for a full 1 year or more or whatever, and think about it. Will I be happy spending long nights doing this? That's how you discover your passion, at least from my experience. That's what I have done. Think about it that way before choosing an idea. I would say the main thing is passion, but the second thing, I mean, the skills. Yeah, I mean, definitely if you have skills in an area, that would help. But if you don't have skills, that doesn't mean that you will not choose that area. Yeah, again, the main thing here is the passion. And then after choosing the idea, yeah, you will feel lost. That's normal, most probably. That you don't know what to do. You're just starting. It's a huge project, like a master's dissertation or something like this, and you feel like I still have a long way to go. I don't know from where to start. I don't know what to do. I would say here to start looking at resources from books. That's one of the important stuff. I would say, especially if it's like a master's dissertation or like PhD or something like this. Also, one of the good things is to go back and have a look at the previous research that has been done in the area that you choose.
So, guys, so sorry to interrupt. Now we're talking about how to research, correct?
Yes.
Before we get into that, I just want to recap and make sure that I capture the points that you mentioned previously correctly. And apologies, it's a little bit dark here because I'm
no worries,
supposed to be. But this is way too important, so I want to make sure I get this as well. So, first point you mentioned is try to pick a topic based on your passion. Right? It doesn't matter if it's something completely new or if it's something that's been done before, as long as you're passionate about it, that's a good starting point. What would also help is the skill set. So if you have a skill set that you already own and that you don't necessarily have to start building a skill set from scratch, that also helps, correct?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's a combination of the two. I mean, the passion and the skill set. But if you feel like you have really huge passion for something, even if you don't have the skill set for it, I would say go for it. And that's what I did in my master's dissertation.
And that's the reason why you mentioned, you want to consider or you want to think of it as that's something that I'm going to be doing for a year, day in and day out, probably. Is that something that I'm going to be happy doing for the rest of the year or at least for a year?
Exactly. So sometimes when you think about something, you feel like you are passionate about it. And this happens in every endeavor in life. I mean, you feel like you're passionate about something, but when it actually happens and you actually start doing it, you'll find yourself that, oh, I don't like that. Yeah. So that's why I'm
sorry, you did mention a very important point as well, which I forgot. You just remembered me of it, is talking to people. So making friends with people that have done something similar, talking to them and see what that entails. So we have three important points here: the passion, the skill set, and the people.
Exactly. I mean, I know sometimes it can be hard for computer science and IT people to be social. And I face this issue, but you have to go out of your comfort zone and start approaching people. There are a lot of people who are willing to help out there on Twitter and LinkedIn. Like for me, I've just read a research from actually not a research, a video from a guy called Chris Gerlinski. He's a Canadian guy who has done a very similar research. And then I just got his Twitter account, sent him a message on Twitter, and yeah, he helped me a lot.
Amazing. I think that's what a lot of people don't sort of, I don't know, appreciate or understand is that although we might come across as, maybe nerdy hackers or whatever it is that you want to describe us, we are very approachable and we do love to help. We do love to share our experience and expertise and skill set. So that is also a very valuable piece of advice. Great. So now we've decided on a topic. Walk us through your methodology. You said you start with a little bit of research, getting some books, etc. What else do you do?
Especially if it's like a topic that doesn't have a lot of like resources, you have two things: is to look at previous similar research using like Google Scholar and all of the similar research that has been done in this area. And definitely you'll find something similar, like different way of thinking, but it will give you definitely an idea about something. Plus, read the documentation. I know that sounds boring, but specifically in the, just an example, in the like embedded devices and IT area, reading the documentation helps you a lot. That's not the case. I know that's not the case in 100% of the times, because some systems and some softwares are badly documented. Sometimes you can find really valuable information in the documentation, especially when it's something that doesn't have a lot of resources.
So let me ask you this. As you go through these steps, how do you know that you are on the right track? Because I know a lot of our students are still at uni, and obviously they want to make sure that their professors are happy. Plus, they want to make sure that they are happy as well, researching whatever it is that they're researching. And there's a lot of time and effort involved in this. So how do you sort of keep track and make sure that you are on the correct path or the correct way to success, and you're not sort of deviating?
I would say here, I mean, especially when you are starting, you will feel a bit overwhelmed, and you might spend 2 weeks staring at resources and research papers with nothing coming out of it. But suddenly you might just like in few hours or one day, you will find, okay, that's the correct way. That's what I'm doing.
This is a really crucial point that very few people talk about. The fact is that it's okay to spend some time researching your research.
Yes,
right?
exactly.
Like spend some time, because this is a big involvement, big investment. You don't want to dive head first straight away and start doing stuff that you might regret later on down the line, right? So if you are about to present something, let's say 3 months from now, I would say it's absolutely fine if you spend a week or two trying to research the topic before you decide. And I would probably add on top of it is, if you decide that you want to change course, while it's still not too late, obviously, it's still absolutely fine as well. And I know from my professors back at university, they are flexible. I mean, of course, it will vary from one university to another university, one professor to another. We can probably talk about how you pick the professor that's going to be your advisor, etc., on another call. But if you make the correct choice, your professors are going to be very flexible and going to be very supportive. So it's absolutely fine to take your time. And if you later on decided that you want to change course, you can do that as well.
So yeah, you mean we cannot spend a lot of time just doing something without any results. We need to make sure that we have something. Am I correct?
Yes. So the original question is sort of like, how do you decide on the milestones, so to speak, right? Think of it as a project that you're trying to do or deliver. There's going to be some milestones to this project. So how did you decide on yours when you were creating your own research, or when you were working on your own research?
Like in my starting point, my supervisor was like really important to me in telling me which direction and which like topics I should be looking at. Let's say you are doing like Linux exploitation, and then you'll be like, how can I start? You need someone to tell you that this is the best area that you can start in. Like he might say to you like, oh yeah, you should do like read some stuff about like bootloaders, and then you go there, and then you go there. I understand that it's a bit confusing to try to decide where to start as an individual without like the support of someone. You do your research, you try to find the best starting point, you combine it with expert advice, I would say. You go to someone, doesn't matter. Definitely, I mean, we are not in a closed world. Definitely you can find someone, even like you approach him like publicly and wherever you want. You can find someone, just tell them, okay, I'm doing this. This is how I'm trying to do it. Do you have any advice? Or if you see that I'm doing something wrong in my approach, or I should start looking at different topics instead of what I'm looking at. And yeah, normally this guy might be your supervisor, this guy might be your friend, this guy might be anyone. Like, seriously, I mean, I approached a lot of people, and I'm still approaching that experts that I have no touch with them. I just add them, follow them on Twitter, LinkedIn, or whatever, send them a message, and most of the times they are replying.
Nice, nice, absolutely. So I feel that you have a very big emphasis on approaching people, which I 100% agree with.
Yeah.
There's a lot of resources that you can benefit from, and there's a lot of people that are extremely happy to help, more than willing to help. So make use of it. Reach out to these people, talk to them, see how they can guide you. So great stuff so far. Let's say now that you finished your research, or you're coming close to finishing your research, some of the students, the professors tell them that, if we like the research, we're going to go and submit it to some conference and maybe present. And I know that you presented at Blackhat, which is, an amazing thing that you've done. Tell us a little bit about the process. How do you decide whether, my research is good enough? Should I be submitting it as a presentation? What happens if I get accepted? What happens if I don't accept it? Should I take this personally? Should I go and, I don't know, get depressed for a month or two? Or how would you handle something like this? So tell us a little bit about this.
So first of all is, after doing research, like, okay, you got your project done. You know a lot about it now. You know a lot about what you have done in the past few months, 1 year, whatever. You read a lot of related work and previous research. This will allow you to know, I mean, let's be honest, if you have done like proper related work and previous research work, you will know where you will have, let's say, like at least a superficial idea where your project stands. You will have an idea that, oh, I've read that in the previous research that people done that and that and that. How am I different from them? Yes.
So the first thing is to look for a differentiator.
Exactly.
Something that sets you apart.
Exactly. That's it. I mean, you can still do something similar to them, but you'll not be able to like submit to top conferences and stuff like that. You might like, talk about that in local conferences and stuff like that.
So let me ask you this, because I want to clarify this for my sake as well, and for everybody that's going to be listening to this. What I got from my university students when I was doing my master's dissertation or thesis is that, and that was a very sort of burning question for me, do I need to be inventing something new or coming up with something completely different? I was thinking PhD mentality, right? And what my professors told me is that, no, we don't expect this from you, but we do expect you to add some kind of value. So you have to have your angle to it, add your own spin, so to speak, and present something of added value.
That's correct.
Would you agree with this? And would you say this is enough to be accepted in some top tier conferences? Or does it have to be something completely?
Before answering the questions, I mean, it depends on the country and it depends on the university. I mean, like, let's say, like, starting with bachelor students. Bachelor students are normally are not pushed to do something innovative. They are normally just like rebuilding something and, yeah, just maybe try building it in a different way, stuff like that. When it comes to the masters, yeah, as you said, you need to add like a little bit, like put some salt in it. Yeah. And if they can like do something exceptional and innovative, definitely that's a plus. And the innovative and exceptional stuff can be like sent out to a top tier conference. Like I've done my just an example. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm talking about myself a lot, but it's just like one person experience. I don't have.
That's the whole purpose of the call, man. We
Yeah.
just want to hear about your experience, honestly.
No worries. Thank you. Yeah, in my experience, like okay, um, I've finished my dissertation. Yeah, I felt that I've done something exceptional. I found a vulnerability in a device. Actually, the vulnerability was already discovered by this guy, Chris Gerlinski, but we found a way to exploit it in a different way and in a much cheaper way.
Right. So basically, that's exactly what we're talking about, right? You added value. You
Exactly.
didn't necessarily invent or discover something completely new. You added
No,
your own to it. You made it better.
Exactly. You don't have to invent something new. I mean, in the end, you are not like a professor with 30 years of experience that you need to register a patent or something. I mean, it's just something new. It doesn't have to be something that get built like a software or like a new product that is not in the market. Just a new thing that a new way to do something. Let's say, okay, now they they prevent APTs during these using these techniques. If you come out and say, oh, I can write this line of code and this will give you a better protection against APTs. That's something new.
Nice. But let's re-emphasize the point here, which Qais has mentioned, which I completely agree with. Know what the expectations are from your professor at university as well, because it will vary, and it also will vary between bachelor's, master's, PhD, etc. So what Qais is talking about is from angle from doing his master's degree, which seems similar or very similar to what I've done as well, keeping in mind that we have students that watch this that are still doing this, that are still doing their bachelor. So their expectations are going to be slightly different than this as well.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Great. So now you decided, okay, I have something good enough to submit for the conference. You go and you submit, and then what happened? You got immediately accepted, or did you have to try a couple of times? If, let's say, you didn't get accepted, how do you handle this?
First of all, if you see that there's still a room to add more research and to make your project better after the masters, just do it and ask your supervisor about this, that I would like to keep collaborating with you on this project even after I graduate. And I'm pretty sure no supervisor will say no for this. This thing will raise your chances in getting accepted. The second thing is when you are applying for top tier conferences, you have to be very, very careful about how you explain stuff and try to make your research and topic look as interesting as possible. And it depends on what you're applying for. Like sometimes some conferences just ask you for like 1-2 page and that's it. Some conferences ask you for like a full paper, let's say like Usenix. Yeah, you need to write like a full proper paper. So basically, the process is just like you see conferences, you list them down and you choose one of them. You choose the most suitable for you, and I think your supervisor or your research partner will help you in choosing that and what's the most suitable for you. Apart from this, after graduating, and many people face this, they think that life is so easy after graduating. I'm not putting you down, guys, but but I mean, it's not as you imagine sometimes. Be ready to be rejected a lot of times. Be ready to be put down many times. So be ready to handle rejections. That's a main point. Before going into Blackhat, we got rejected in a top tier conference. That's absolutely fine. I mean, I graduated from the University of Birmingham, and which is in the top 100 list in the world. Even if you are the top university in the world, you will have your papers getting rejected. So that's part of the process. Yeah, you get rejected, you get back, you modify, you try to improve. If you see that that's it, I can't improve more than that, you can apply to a lower conference. I mean, can still be a top conference, but yeah, a little bit like more strict, less strict and stuff like that.
Sounds good, man. I think that this rejection point is something that we need to sort of drive home, because very few people talk about this, and I'm really glad that you brought it out. So
I got a lot of rejections.
See, that's what not everybody talks about, right? Whatever you see on social media, LinkedIn, Twitter, it's like, yeah, I got experience. Yeah,
exactly. I mean, let's be honest. Go to my profile in LinkedIn. Oh, I talked at Blackhat. I'm working at Immersive Labs. I'm doing really good. But in the background, I got rejected many times for my papers, from jobs interviews. I got rejected. Really, I can't count, like more than 15 job interviews. Google, Trend Micro, a lot of companies. Yeah, I just kept trying. That's the whole idea.
That's amazing, and I really do thank you and appreciate the honesty, because very few people have the courage to talk about this, and they sort of try to hide this, especially how amazing and successful they are, and that sort of reflects badly on our community. Not the way the community appears, but the way the community feels, because they, especially like new graduates, they start to look up to these people and think, oh, I should be as amazing as they can, guys, and they don't know the struggle that they go through, they don't know the rejections that they go through. And I'm the same, I've been in situations where I lost a job, where I couldn't get a job, where my papers got rejected, where my trainings got rejected. That happens. It happens all the time, right?
Yeah.
So I'm really bringing this up. Thank you. Really appreciate the honesty. Truly appreciate it.
No, it's
bits and pieces of advice you want to give for our fresh graduates or master students?
Yeah, I would say just don't get dragged down for too long. I mean, along the way, you will get dragged down. You will be depressed at some point, but it's nobody will not face this. If anybody tells you that I've never been in that place, he's not being honest. Everybody is in that place, but it's just you decide, you get up really fast from there, or you just stay there. Along the way, you'll have this ups and downs, but it's just you need to learn how to push yourself, improve, and just go ahead. I mean, you can apply this in every endeavor in life, and not only the IT sector.
Thank you so much, man. Really appreciate these gems that you've shared with us today. I truly hope that you'll find them useful and inspirational.
Hopefully. I really hope so.
I'm gonna go through this again in my own time. Make sure that I take some notes as well. And hopefully we'll see you at the next Blackhat or Hack in the Box or some other topic conference.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Yeah, hopefully.